Hey, it's Brad here from Clearline Digital. In this video, I'm going to be going through best practices, tips, and guidance for home improvement business owners and tradesmen to get more results from their Facebook ads. So, what we're going to start by doing is creating a campaign. To do this, we go to Ads Manager and then we click the green Create button in the top left here. So, we'll click that and then it will bring up this page. So, we want to keep the buying type as auction, as we're going to want these ads to run continuously. And then we're going to want to tell Facebook what we want. So we want leads. So we're going to click the leads campaign objective, because Facebook is great at doing what you tell it to do. So we're going to click leads and then we're going to click continue. And this is going to bring us to the campaign level settings. So we want to give our campaign a name. Now, we want to keep good naming conventions throughout, just so we know what's where at a glance and what each ad set or ad or campaign is actually doing. So for the campaign level, for us as an agency, we don't really mind what the campaign title is, just because we run all our ads in one campaign. Meta is a machine learning platform, so we want to give it the best shot at actually learning and gathering data. And we find that's best when everything is just in one campaign. In that way, the budget is not split up. It's funneling through one area which is continuously learning, and we find that this brings the best and most stable results. You're also going to want to look at the special ad categories. Now, as a trader or a home improvement business owner, they probably aren't going to be something you need to worry about. But I would still recommend just looking at the categories just to make sure. But generally, they're from people who are actually like credit lenders and deal with that side of finance, or if you do job offers or internships, things like that. So, not something where you're selling shutters or driveways or anything like that. But just check just to cover your own back. The campaign details is what we've just looked at on the previous screens. You can also just leave that now because that's done. Then going to want to set our daily budget that we want to spend on ads. But there is also two settings around this as well, which is the campaign budget, also known as CBO, and ad set budget, which is known as ABO. What we do generally is we keep everything under campaign budget, and what that does is, say you have £25 split and you've got 5 ad sets. Facebook will spend wherever it thinks it's going to get results. So what that might be is it might spend £20 on ad set 1 in a day and £5 on ad set 2. And 3, 4 and 5 may get 0 spent at all, just because on that day Facebook thought these aren't going to get any results. And that is how that one works. Ad set budget is you define a specific spend that needs to go through each ad set. So if I've got 5 ad sets and I'm spending £25 a day, but my ad set budget is £5 each. So if I go ad set, then I'll go to the spend per ad set then. So if I set each ad set at £5, it will spend £5 per ad set. And then you can ignore these as well. We want highest volume. And then I generally ignore the A/B test because I do my testing a different way. And then now we can go to look at the ad set level, which is a little bit more exciting. So now we're in the ad set level. Again, we want to stick with a good naming convention. I run a lot of dynamic creatives, which I will cover a little bit later in this video, but the ad set is where I start to look at the naming convention, and I generally name it by the topic or angle that I'm going down for this set of ads. So if I've got one ad set, which may be going down, if I was advertising shutters, it will be going down light control. I might have one that is privacy. I might have one that is heat loss, for example. And I will segment my ad sets by the topic effectively. Then we're going to want to look at our conversion location. And in the conversion location, it is exactly what it is saying. So where do we want someone to give their details? Generally, throughout all these, I would say website and instant forms are the only two you're going to be using. And it's pretty much a business case which one you're going to use. If you do want to do as little chasing as possible, then website is probably the best, or a landing page, purely because you're going to get much less leads because you're taking someone off app and it's more effort for them to fill in the form. So you will get less leads and hopefully less chasing. What I have found through a lot of testing is instant forms generally can make you more money, but there is a lot more effort from your part involved in terms of chasing up leads and contacting people. And there's going to be more work there just because there's going to be a higher volume. Generally, we find instant forms, there is a higher volume, but there is slightly more poor quality leads rather than a website. But there is a lot more potential there to make more money, if that makes sense. Because it's easier to fill out, so more people are going to fill it out. Well, yeah, choose this based on your business case, and we want to select the performance goal next. With performance goal, we really want to maximize the number of conversion leads, but this only actually does anything if you set it up to a CRM, because the CRM can send signals of a Facebook pixel to say, this is what a quality lead looks like. So unless you actually have the CRM set up and the Facebook pixel set up for this, then these won't do anything differently. But if you were telling Facebook what a good lead is and what a bad lead is, then this is a really good option to choose. It will do this based on you moving the leads around in the pipeline on your CRM. So if you have 200 people who have purchased, Facebook will try and show ads more in terms of the demographic and data it's got on these 200 people to find other people that are more likely to buy. Catalog we can ignore, but dynamic creative is something that you can choose if you would like. What happens is, instead of making individual ads, you can make one ad which has, for example, 3 images, 4 headlines, and 2 ad copies. And Facebook will show the best combination to each person which it thinks will convert. I will do a video on this at some point, but let me know in the comments if you would like me to, because I use dynamic creatives a lot and I have a lot of accounts running purely on them because it works very well. Budget and schedule. So if you selected ad set budget optimization, it's going to be this actual area where you're going to put your ad set budget per ad set, and it's going to be the start date for your ads as well. Audience is where my opinion is starting to not differ so much anymore, but we don't actually do any audiences whatsoever. So you can actually go into here and you've got your detail targeting. So I could type in here somebody who is interested in IKEA, for example. Obviously, it's a lot of people, but I generally don't do this anymore. So this is a type of running ads that was really popular in like 2018, 2019, because you could just find people who are interested in certain things around your product. So for us, it might be home improvements. That should be an option. There we go, home improvement. But we don't really utilize these anymore because Facebook's AI has got so clever, it just knows who to target. Recently, I started running ads for our agency targeting home improvement business owners, and it actually got shown to a lot of my clients as well. Facebook is that smart nowadays. It will find people who are interested in shutters, wherever your home improvement business does actually sell. So the only thing we generally change is the age. Obviously, if you're selling a driveway, an 18-year-old is probably unlikely to buy one. So the average age of someone buying a house in the UK is, I believe, about 32 now. So you can actually change the age range here. So you can say only target people 32 to 65. Then that one's done. And the only other thing I generally change is the gender. So this is very heavily dependent, and I do rarely change the gender, but it can vary a lot because if you sell women's clothes, as a just complete out the box example, men still might buy them as a gift for their partner, so you're missing out on opportunities that could be profitable at the same time. For home improvements, generally we find women are the more motivated person to fill in forms, but still about 25-30% of submissions are from men. So we wouldn't want to instantly cut off 30% of our demographic who would buy unless it was unprofitable to do so. But realistically, this is all I change in the audience. I don't do anything fancy with detailed targeting. All the targeting is done at the ad level for me. For placements, it's also very much the same thing. I just let Meta take the wheel with this because from a lot of spend, I've generally found that placement cost per leads is very static across the board. It doesn't vary massively among spends where there's a good volume of leads to actually show you the data clearly. And from this, we are going to go to the ad level, and I will show you some nice stuff in there too. So at the ad level, we're going to want to give the ad a name, and we want to stick it so we know what the ad is about just from this sidebar here. We want to know what's performing, what's not at a glance. And the easiest way to not get confused is give this a very obvious name to what the ad is about. We obviously want to run the ad through our Facebook page. And we can, for this, we'll ignore partnerships. We're not currently having a partnership with a creator or a brand or another business, which is what that is for. We're going to want to create an ad, and we're going to want to structure it so either single image or video or carousel, whatever you're going to want to do. We're going to want to untick multi-advertiser ads because we don't want our ads to appear next to a lot of other businesses. We generally find this provides a lot of low quality traffic, which we don't want. We're going to want to add our primary text, images or headlines in here. I'm going to do another video on that, which will probably be quite a long video to explain a little bit more on what I generally use. Destination. So here you would either put the link to your landing page in, or you would create your instant form. When you use your instant form, I'm dropping a video in a few days on this. Please tick this require SMS verification. It is so useful just on the basis of it's like a button that just immediately improves lead quality, and it doesn't really affect your cost per lead either, which is what baffled me. I thought the cost per leads were going to go up. But I've tried it on so many accounts now, and on every single one, it has just been a complete game changer. We're going to want to select our form if we've made a form, or obviously put the URL to your landing page in. And then we're also going to want to set up web events and CRM events as well. So if you are using a landing page, the CRM events won't be such a big deal, and you'll have a pixel here for your website events. But I would suggest setting up your CRM if you are using a instant form, and I will cover everything else in another video. So please, if you've liked this video, subscribe, and I will be dropping a lead form video very shortly. And if you would like to see anything on creatives, primary text and headlines, please let me know in the comments and I will get making that as well.